It's just after 10 to 8. We know that the government wants to build 300,000 homes a year in England by the middle of the next decade. But how do you do that?
Exactly. Could assembling them in factories be part of the solution to the country's housing shortage? Well, Nina's in Knaresborough for us to find out. Morning, Nina.
Yes, good morning Tina, good morning John, welcome to my home. Only kidding, my walls have never been this clean. And we are talking modular homes this morning. That means, as you say, homes that are built inside a factory, on site, then driven off on a lorry and delivered to where they will become homes for families. The boilers installed here, the electrics, and people can even choose their light fitting before it's delivered. Now, the government says we are hundreds of thousands of homes short. We have so many fewer than what we need. They think that modular homes like this are a big part of the solution to that crisis. Think of prefab homes and you'll probably have something like this in mind.
By Mr. Churchill as emergency dwellings for demobilised servicemen and their families.
Prefab houses built after the Second World War for returning soldiers and following bomb damage. They weren't built to last, but they were lived in for decades after they were supposed to be. But modern modular homes, as their builders prefer to call them, are being touted as a potential solution to the housing crisis and the construction skills shortage. They're built to a higher quality these days and take roughly half the time to build in a factory, then assemble on sites like a traditional build. But only around 1% of new homes built last year, that's fewer than 15,000, were modular buildings. Yeah, have a look at this one that's just been put on these lifters, which are controlled by Bluetooth. That will take it then on the back of a lorry and it will be driven to Kent. And then the top floor, which is just across the way over there, will be put on it. Amazing, isn't it? Let's talk now to Dave, because you're responsible for 750 of these new homes.
Absolutely.
It's the biggest affordable housing contract like that at the moment. What are the advantages of making them on this production line as opposed to constructing on site?
It's a lot quicker,
Yeah.
because we control the process. It's a lot cleaner, so much better for the environment, because it's done inside a factory, so there's less carbon. It's also at a higher quality because it's precision engineered, and we've got control over each of the stations, so we can guarantee the customer gets a high quality home which comes out the factory as you see today.
And when it comes to local employment, there are advantages, aren't there? Because we know there's a bit of a bottleneck when it comes to the labour force in construction. This means low-skilled workers can find employment.
The fantastic opportunity we've got is to bring manufacturing jobs back to places like this. Construction industry has got a skills gap. We can fill some of that gap by bringing in people from manufacturing, from retail, and train the production operatives on the line, which gives a real opportunity for employment in places like this which would have been lost. OK, thank you, Dave. And yet there are all those advantages of modular homes, and yet we are still in the midst of this massive crisis. The government isn't even hitting 50% of its target. Let's talk to Mark, who advises the government on housing. What's going wrong? Why aren't these houses flying off the shelf?
I think part of the problem is our industry is notoriously reticent to change. It just does not like to do anything different to what it's always done. So we're effectively building homes the same way that we did 100 years ago. I think there's also a real fundamental issue with the split between manufacturers such as Ilke and what you're seeing here today at the factory, and the fact that the land that you need to build these homes on is actually owned by other people. So that the real significance of the deal that's been announced today is actually Ilke coming together with Places for People, who've shown a real leadership position in saying, look, we have the land, you have the manufactured homes, let's get together and let's talk about doing a deal at scale. You've worked closely with the government. People say we're hearing it every year. Do they mean it? Are they committed to building more homes? Because there'll be people watching thinking, I need an affordable house, it's really impacting my life. Yeah, so I would say they do mean it. Everything I'm seeing actually confirms the fact that they're taking this seriously. There's a real firm commitment to want to modernise the home building market and to create additional capacity, because the big problem we have at the moment is we're not going to build 300,000 homes a year, which is what the government is saying. Building traditionally, you have to have means of construction which are modern, technology enabled, and actually are going to drive higher quality as well, because we have a big problem in the market at the moment around poor quality homes. So this is about not just the extra numbers, it's about quality homes. Okay, and Mark was saying earlier, if we're looking at a timescale, it's going to be at the very least 5 to 10 years before that housing crisis is met, because of the scale of it, Mark, isn't it? But we'll have to let these guys go now, because this has got to get all the way to Kent for a lucky new family due to live in it.
I don't want to be stuck behind it on the motorway. I can tell you that's going to hold up the traffic. But yeah, there's a lot of building going on.
Nightmare.
But it's somebody's home, and we need lots of homes. Nina, thanks for now.
Thanks
very much.
you. Okay.